it'll take a few seconds. We'll be on live, but we'll be trying to share this quickly, so we'll be as quick as I can.
That's alright.
So loads. Come on. And we're live there.
So how did it taste? Like,
Craig can talk to you about Vimto.
I like the taste of Vimto, and fudge is alright. But I didn't imagine fudge with Vimto would be very
just
good.
a really sweet Vimto, can you? Overly sweet Vimto.
It tasted milky.
Milky Vimto.
How?
Like
Strange.
calcium defined, like bone helping. Or
I don't know, I've not had any bones, but...
Oh, bones are delicious. You need to get yourself a wee bone.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bones, like, you have bones inside people.
Oh, I was saying. Hey? What?
They're sweet.
What are you talking about?
There's good with barbecue sauce.
what are you talking about?
I'm just talking shit.
What are you talking about?
Jesus
I
Christ.
thought we were talking about Vimto.
I bet it tastes like bones.
What are you?
You brought it up. You talked about something to do with calcium. So
When
I
you
just...
said like milk, that was like that helped. Like,
Oh,
helps
right.
calcium
So that was the
bones
bullshit
and
you were
stuff.
on about, right?
Sorry, that was my fault then.
We're not live yet, are we?
Yes,
No, we're
they are live.
But
this is-
have been live this whole time.
This
No
is the part
way.
before like people skip this part because it's meant to be
Right.
just. But if we're so hilarious, I think people should be
We
listening to
make a
this.
point of just like keeping this part of the podcast. We start talking to someone random that we've started talking about, and then that way people can tune in.
Yeah.
Usually we're just like we're sharing.
Right.
Make it its own dedicated segment.
Aye, the sharing segment
Alright,
where we
okay.
just talk nonsense.
Because it's just, you've got me saying, I don't know what you're talking about. What are we talking about?
Well, I got confused. I thought Stephen was saying that Vimto fudge tastes like bones.
I was like, who would know what bones taste like?
Ed
Anyway.
Gein. You know kind of Ed Gein
What?
is? Ed Gein's a serial killer.
I bet that's
Alright,
Jeffrey
okay.
Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer was also a cannibal.
Okay.
Not much into serial killers.
So anyway, it's very nice to be invited here today. You know, so I'm hoping that at some point we are going to be talking about Five Centre for Equalities
We'll get there,
and the Diversity Week.
but there's more important things to be talking about first.
Vimto.
And barbecue bones.
I'm not going to taste it. No, I'm happy with my water.
Happy with the water.
I'm happy with my water.
Very elitist.
You'll be happy to know I'm ready.
Okay, right.
We're still talking about Vimto now. That's cool.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
No, I'm sure now people are tuning off now
Exactly,
because
exactly.
that was it. That was.
Actually, we've got more viewers than we used to do at the beginning part, so that's good. The Vimto kept us alive there, that's beautiful. Okay, so welcome to the Besides the Norm podcast. My name is Scuba, Craig's here as well.
Starter in chief.
We've also got Nina Monday from the Five Centre for Equalities.
Five Centre for Equalities.
There you go. I should work on my English.
Hello.
And we've also got Lewis Bainbridge, who joined us a wee bit last minute. Could you lean forward a wee bit just so we can get you on the camera a wee bit? That's probably see you there. Perfect, now, perfect. We'll get you there. So we're here to talk about a bit about equality. So you've got a thing coming up in a few weeks, the Equalities Week. Could you
Diversity Week.
Diversity Week?
Aye.
Sorry,
Yeah.
should have worked on that a wee bit. So we'll talk about that in a wee while. Could you first sort of explain what you do for the Five Centre for Equalities?
Okay, well, I'm the manager of Five Centre for Equalities. Five Centre for Equalities actually started as a kind of a baby of Five Council and Five Voluntary Action. I think they want to create a new organisation that look at every aspect of equality and diversity. And because I think in the past there have been various organisations in Fife or in other parts of Scotland that only look at one part of equality, and then when you look at the whole kind of the humanity, it's very difficult to kind of continue to say this is only relevant to women, this is only relevant to men, this is only relevant to people with disabilities or older people, younger people. There's actually quite a lot of issues that affect all of us, maybe equally or differently, but they all affect us, you know, in terms of like education, employment, health, policing. A lot of these issues have major impact of our life. So for Five Centre for Equalities, our main role is to help bodies like Five Council to engage with people of, you know, from different kind of equality backgrounds, you know, and bringing people together and to look at the kind of common themes, and also to look at, are there things that we can do together, you know, better, and not to just like continue dividing people, because that hasn't helped. I think the last 20 years in the kind of equality landscape, where people have been dividing themselves or people dividing them, and, you know, based on different labels, and what now we're looking at it, people still feeling, you know, they feel isolated, or they're not being included, or they don't want to be included, you know, various reasons. And when I don't think we actually have moved forward in terms of the equality agenda. So now we you know, kind of looking at the main themes and looking at how these issues affect people, and then trying to find new solutions that, you know, along with the individuals and communities and organizations, creating new solutions that are much more sustainable. And that is why, leading to the theme of Diversity Week, this year. I mean, this is the third year that Five Centre for Equalities has been hosting the Diversity Week 5, and it's been quite successful, and we're gaining supporters along the way. And I think this year we're becoming a little bit more ambitious. We're going to have like seven events starting from the 4th of September, finish up on the 10th of September, and the main theme will be sustainable inclusion. And within each day, we'll be looking at different elements to help us to create this like sustainable inclusion. I think the first day we'll be looking at the whole kind of area planning, looking at the amenities, the infrastructure, the long-term goal, the sustainable goals. Tuesday we have the safer communities. Wednesday we're going to have looking at the open data. Thursday will be employment, it'll be a recruitment fair. Friday we're going to be looking at participation in planning, to get people involved in planning their own local services. But again, the focus is not just about creating separate services for different groups with different labels. It's actually what kinds of service planning would work for the people that actually live in that particular community, regardless who they are. And then Saturday, we're going to have a fun day for family, about outdoor activities, about indoor activities. And then Sunday, the gala, that's when parties on the high streets of Dunfermline. So there are a lot of things, and we're still asking people to let us know if they want to get involved. You know, we have stall places. We have, you know, if people want to run workshops, let us know. And more importantly, we want people to turn up at those events.
I also hear that there's a couple of professional boys doing some filming at some of these events.
Yes, yes. I wonder
very
who.
Amazing people.
Yes, they are.
I also hear they do a very good podcast.
Yes.
But I'm yet to find it.
I think I did
Fuck,
hear stuff.
chucking some
They do
self.
talk about Vimto too often. That happens.
Not too often. There's no such thing as too often. Vimto can't be over talked.
No.
But I thought I'd get in a wee bit of self promotion.
The short end is that we're going to be doing some filming for you guys. I think we're
Yeah.
going to be sort of filming some stuff. Sort of like many of the talks that are happening, we'll be filming them, and we'll be sort of passing them back to you for your YouTube channel and stuff like that, for whatever you just want to do with them.
There'll also
Highlights
be,
things and stuff like
there'll
that.
be a highlight thing for the gala, and I think the opening day we're going to be doing a filming a few of the talks and then doing a event highlight thing.
And I'm
But
sure
well
that
done for remembering every single day,
yeah,
by the way.
That's all right. I've been thinking about it for the last 6 months. No, I was just going to say that, if we didn't have you at the Fife Pride, I don't think Fife Pride would have been that successful.
Yes.
That's a big statement.
Yes.
That's possibly overstated.
No, not at
Possibly
all.
overstated.
No, I think...
And this is without you playing her with Vimto as well. This
No,
is just
she
straight up
refused.
being nice.
She refused my bribe
But I think...
because she's elitist.
No, I'm not. I think everybody who came to the Fife Pride, they knew how successful that was. But then I think the footage from you guys, that's still passing
That done really
around
well.
that-
That got about 6,000 views.
That's crazy.
Yes.
The idea behind that as well was to get that video out quick, because I knew that we could sort of get a good few views on it, and at least as well. But I knew that the quicker we got the video out, the quicker we could sort of advertise. Obviously, the fact that it happened and stuff like that. There's obviously people that weren't there a lot of the time, just to let them see what had happened.
Let them see
how successful
Yes,
the event went.
I know.
See it as
That
close
people-
to the time as possible.
Because I had people asking sort of how it went. I was like, well, there's a video. Check.
I know.
Check the video. See what
I
happens.
know,
sort of
because I think on the day, there were a lot of photos as well, but I think having the video really helped.
thing. That's it. And Nina was obviously a huge star that day as well for us.
I
Just
was
grabbing
actually, I was the one going around. I was like, "Come and talk to the video. Come on, talk to the video."
Because we're quite quiet dudes.
We're
stupid.
really bad.
So stupid that we host a podcast for being quiet guys, but
I'm more like speaking when there's nobody here.
Oh yeah.
That's fine. But speaking to other people that I'm a bit bad
sort
at.
of out with
Okay.
the thing that we're doing, sort of thing.
But you did very well.
Filmed a few things for the Equality Centre now.
Yes, you've
I think we've done the hustings, the
hustings
general
as
election.
well.
We were meant to do the council hustings that I was in, but see, so I'm going to.
Could you explain what actually happened now? Because I look terrible for that.
Aye, see,
There you go.
right.
This is
So
the
I'm going to
story.
explain the reason why Stephen didn't film the council election, right? Because I was in the hustings, right? I was in the election, and so when I knew that I was going to be in the hustings and answering questions for the audience and stuff,
Yes.
I refused to let Stephen film it, because if Stephen was filming it and I got asked a question that had a word that there's an in joke, like if somebody says take it, play it by ear, if somebody says
Alright.
play it by ear or some funny thing, and he looked at me with a smile on his face and I started laughing, there's no way I'd be able to answer any of the questions.
Yeah.
We are two
And
quite childish men.
Aye.
It's
I would have looked
really
quite
bad.
unprofessional, so Stephen couldn't film that one,
Mhm.
but we managed to get the general election one filmed. So
Because you weren't in it.
I wasn't in that one.
Oh yeah, I didn't make it to the.
No, it was
the
Leah
local,
that done that one.
council.
Alright, right. That's cool. Who's the leader of the...
Leader of what?
Well, who were you talking about there? Who's the leader?
Leah.
Leah. I thought you said, oh, Jesus, right. You need to work on your speaking. Unbelievable. Work on your speech, boy.
This guy.
I'm sorry. So that...
I'm drawing you in
So
Vimco.
that's interesting that you put yourself forward as a candidate. How did it?
Oh, I got asked by a
Okay.
party.
Yeah.
I refused to begin with because I'm not very good at public speaking.
Yes.
But I thought,
I thought that was great because you said before that you had no interest in doing it because the public speaking was going to be a problem for you.
aye. But then,
And then Bill's...
no, Jock
the joke they say to you.
is one of the guys that sort of manages the party that I'm in. And he was like, oh, don't worry about it, it's a council election, there'll not be any hustings or anything. He knew he was lying. He suckered me right in. I was like, alright,
I think
cool,
you did
I'll
about
do it.
3 and you were doing like sort of...
I've done 3.
and then
Aye.
you were doing like... so talking to people on the streets and stuff.
Then I've done
which is
a
another-
bunch of stalls every single week.
Oh.
Suckered into that.
Did
But
you
again-
want to win?
I wanted to win once I was into it.
Yeah.
And once I knew I was doing hustings. Like, it was supposed to be, because obviously the hustings was in Kirkcaldy and I was through here, so I shouldn't have been at that hustings.
Right.
But the guy that was doing the hustings that night had another event
Right.
in Burnt Island, so he couldn't do that one. We only had 2 candidates.
Right.
So we had to sort of stretch it a wee bit. So I got roped into that one, and I was super nervous for it. I didn't want to do it,
Okay.
but I done it. So, and I won technically. I didn't.
No, I was gonna say-
On the night.
Did
I
you,
won.
did you say that I asked you a question, but you kind of stumbled a wee bit?
No, that was the second night. I had
Was it?
2 hustings in a row. It
Oh, that was in Metals,
That was the People's Assembly one that
Right,
messed me up.
that's fair.
Aye.
So,
Tough crowd.
But I think there's so many people, because one of the key questions at the general election husting that we held one of the questions was like the candidates are not very diverse, and I think it's like, how would you answer that question of how to, what can we do to encourage more people to think about being a politician of any form, whether it's like community councillors or MSP.
Well, I got
MP.
asked a question where I annoyingly agreed with the Conservative candidate, which I'm supposed to be like the most left-wing candidate there, and I agreed with the most right-wing.
All right.
I was on gender quotas, and I disagreed with the idea of a gender quota in the long run, because I think it should be, if there's a problem with females coming into politics, it shouldn't be forced. You shouldn't be forcing women to get into the politics at a later stage. You should be making it more available at a younger age, and so it's more natural progression at that point. So I felt weird disagreeing with something that most people in the audience agreed with at that point, and I knew they disagreed with me, but I had to say my piece. So that was fun.
Had you guys been hosting hustings events? I take it
Just
a
this
few years-
year.
Is that just this year you started doing that?
Yeah, and we thought we were just going to do one, and then suddenly another one came along because somebody announced a general election
You
somewhere.
Somebody,
You picked a great year to go for this.
You did really
because
pick a
there's
good
been
year.
like how many elections? Like just in the past.
well,
two
what
years?
happened to why did you know the Scottish elections? You were up and running.
Well, the new volunteer house, I don't think it was quite ready yet.
All right.
Yeah, that was still under renovation.
Yeah, because that would have been May 2016.
And to be honest, I think it was quite helpful having Leah as our information and communications officer. Because she was standing as well. I think.
Yeah, she was in Dundee.
yeah.
She was standing in for the workers. Was it the Workers' Party?
Don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I did
Yeah.
search for her. So
Yeah. So she enjoys the whole kind of like the election and getting people to be more active politically, and I think we felt it was right for us to kind of like host the hustings and put the questions directly to the candidates, especially on the equality side, because I think a lot of them will talk about policies in general, and that's where we get frustrated sometimes, because we genuinely believe that equality should be at the heart of everything.
Definitely.
It's not something you add on later on, or you talk about childcare, and then suddenly equality. A few sentences later, we should actually think about that. That is part of promoting equality, providing childcare, or getting more people involved in politics. If you start with the right kind of mindset, like you said, that you're actively nurturing people, whether they're women from minority ethnic backgrounds or disabilities, right from the start, then you wouldn't have to have the question about quota or target. It should become natural to us that we don't automatically think politicians have to be white, male, middle class, certain age. That's the thing that we find it quite difficult to get people to understand. Actually, politics does run through everything we do as well. If you don't agree with something, there is something you can do yourself locally. Go along to the council committee meetings. Direct. So the hustings is not the only channel that you can speak to potential candidates, but the council meetings all the time, and a lot of meetings are held in public, so people could go along and direct their questions at the councillors or writing to them. But I think sometimes people don't seem to want to engage straight away.
I like hustings. Hustings are fun.
Well,
okay.
More.
So
Jesus, you couldn't have been more straight faced with that. That was terrible.
What was wrong with that?
It was the way you did it. You were just so dry. Watch that back on camera. You'll enjoy that part.
Okay. Lewis, you want to come in at some point?
Well, the thing I wanted to add in was that the hustings was a great idea, because you could get pretty much anybody you want. Because what kind of evil person decides not to come to an equalities hustings? So I thought that was a gravy point to add.
Did anybody refuse? I'm trying to think of
No,
who
I
was.
think the one that you were at too many. Apparently, I was being
There was too many.
I was
That's
being
it.
too inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the general election we didn't have the same problem because not every party had candidates in Fife. Which
Yeah,
is
we
a bit
definitely couldn't.
shocking. I think it was a bit shocking.
Well, it's about 100. Was it £500 deposit?
Really, is
And
that what it is?
people were
Oh, I
had
didn't-
run out of money for the council election,
Oh,
so a lot of us started with zero money. So
okay, apologies, I didn't know.
I would have.
Yeah, sorry to any party that didn't put forward a candidate.
I would have
in
happily. I would have happily been in the general election.
Fife. Okay.
But it's. I think it's.
It's
I
a
think
lot
the-
of, it's a lot of money to put forward, knowing that it's going to be either Labour, Tory, or other sort of thing.
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you get your money back if you get. I think it's 10% of the vote
Yeah.
or something.
Okay.
But I think it's just to price out the stupid candidates.
Right.
So
Eh,
like Lord Buckethead and
aye, but they make money to purposely go and do it.
Aye, it's great.
So I think
didn't know
I think
the
that's
money
the
is a
case.
factor. Okay.
No.
So
Aye, council
again,
election.
apologies to any party who didn't put forward a candidate in
I think
Fife.
the council election is the only one that's free, but I'm not.
Right.
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
Bill's watching, so Bill might correct me on that because
Bill-
he was a candidate in the Scottish elections.
So Bill's corrected us already on the Leah Garnley thing.
Aye, she
Socialist Party Scotland, she was one with.
No, but she was stood as a Tusk
Oh.
Trade Union Socialist Coalition.
All right, cool.
That they done that in Dundee because a lot of there was a few Solidarity people
Mm-hmm.
went under Tusk in Dundee as
All
well.
right, right.
So
Yeah.
So she was on your side, basically.
Yeah, the same
awesome,
side.
Awesome.
me and Leah were on the same side there.
Oh, so that's good.
Yeah. But I think the feedback from the candidates to me, it was like they had to behave. They felt they had to behave because they say that normally in other hustings there's lots of people booing and shouting,
Right.
and that in our hustings everybody was on their best behaviour and they didn't quite know. It was like this, you know. It was quite unusual for them.
Well, it was my first one, so I didn't know what to expect.
Okay.
I might have been the worst
Did
person.
you
there.
enjoy it?
It was a laugh. Well,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be a laugh. Serious conversation. But it was. I quite liked that being growled,
Okay.
like being called out on my bullshit if I had any.
yeah.
I liked that aspect of it because if I'm going to go out and say, "Oh, listen to my opinions," then I should know my opinions.
Because that's what, because you're quite open to sort of change your mind if your mind has changed
Aye.
at that point. Some people are just sort of stuck on what they believe, and you're just
Aye.
sort of, oh no, well, I am wrong.
I change my mind all the time. The worst person for a candidate ever.
No, just
Go in as a socialist, come out as a conservative. That didn't happen. That didn't happen.
Aye, just an
That was a
unfortunate
joke.
end.
That would be funny.
It would be.
It's like, Bill, I'm leaving.
I'm going to join
Stand
Dave.
for the barge and that.
I'm going to Dave Dempsey. He's going to pick me up.
Dave, man. We've had Dave in here before as well. He was,
Oh, did
he was
you?
alright actually as well.
Aye, for
Yeah.
a conservative, aye.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus, eh? You're getting them out.
Oh no, me and Dave have had a laugh on Facebook about that.
yeah.
That's alright, that's alright. So, Lewis, a new recruit
Oh, yeah.
to the Fife Centre for Equalities, man. How's it getting on, and what's your role?
It's getting on alright, I think. I haven't done anything horrifically wrong yet, so there's that. I'm so used to, like, when my mum and dad ask me how am I getting on, I'm just like, I've done a bit of this and a bit of that. But now I actually have to say what I've been doing. So I'm the Informations and Communications Assistant, and that means I was assisting Leah, who's
Right.
the officer, but now she's left, so I'm sort of being trained to take over in that role. So right now I'm just spamming diversity week stuff.
Well, you designed all the posters. Have you seen them?
Oh, we have seen them. We
yeah,
were
the
down at the
posters,
meeting.
they're pretty good.
Aye.
Yeah.
We got them.
We've got them all through there actually.
Oh, we have, aye.
Aye, got them.
We made a joke on the meeting. I think it was last week
I
about
can't
all.
stop making jokes, that's aye.
It was Elric that made it.
Aye.
I was like, is he listening?
He was talking about all the events that he puts on are boring, and
Oh, yeah.
Lewis has subconsciously made them all grey. Or the posters for his event.
didn't even notice.
So there's a wee funny bit going on.
They're not all boring. He's got the
Well-
gala. That's actually. The
But that's
most
not great.
popular
That's
one.
not a grey one. Eric, is it?
That's
Is it
the
grey as
Eric's
well?
one. Yeah, it's the Eric
Oh,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah, Eric runs
Pure
that one.
Elric, man. Pure Elric. Honestly. I
He
feel
said
bad for
he
him.
he enjoys the boring stuff, or what other people consider boring, but I
Oh,
enjoy
you
that
like
stuff
that,
as
don't
well.
you?
Yeah.
Kinda like boring
I'm
stuff
very
as well.
bland. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you have
I
plans
really
at
like
all.
the boring stuff.
Oh no, he is
Yeah.
bland. He's really bland. He's grey. His beard's grey.
I wish I do.
Have you seen our equality cats?
No,
I haven't yet, man. I feel bad.
apparently they've
We
got some
posted
controversy.
on our Facebook.
Aye.
You like the Facebook?
Aye.
Prove it.
No, I'll prove it right now.
You
Right,
can
we're
just
gonna-
I
go
love I'm
and-
getting called out here. Right.
Are they up there a lot? Will we see them as soon as we go on the page?
well,
Right. Nobody will see it on the podcast. They'll just
No. They
We
were
are
see
not-
us looking at pictures.
what do you mean? There's a bit of controversy about the
somebody was
equality
moaning
cats?
about the equality cats or something.
To you
Oh, no, but the.
On your page, somebody was complaining about it.
on our page about the cats.
Was it that?
Nah, that was a bit.
Or was it somebody?
No. I was.
That's the problem.
This is the thing about that Nina was very, very patient with the person, but there was apparently.
Oh, the banners. Oh, yeah, somebody.
Oh, you've got the winners on it, right? Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you?
I seen the sort of daily things that you're putting up. It's like showing some of the artwork and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I didn't realise you had actual winners.
Yes. Yes.
Right. We don't have the appropriate magic to put these up in the podcast.
That's
So
okay. That's okay. We just trust that.
Actually, we do. OBS is a screen recorder.
Yeah.
I've already set it up.
So
Oh, it doesn't
they
matter.
they are the equality cats of 5.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna see them a lot now because we asked children, young people in 5 to help us to design equality cats. So that we received quite a lot of entries and then we actually held the polling quite publicly as well. You know, we were trying to be so inclusive and here are the winners. And we're going to be these equality cats are going to be helping us in future with our campaigns to help us to say the right thing.
So, and
the
what
kiddies.
I love how this cat looks here. Looks like unhappy to be wearing this jersey for some reason.
He's the hard one.
Is that a French flag?
Who's that?
It's got lots of
Is that a
different
French
flags.
flag?
There's loads of
Different
flags at
different
the top. There's
flags.
a Jamaican flag, Japanese.
Like,
Yeah.
there's one he's wearing, which means he's from a
Yeah.
certain place, I think.
Nah, he's bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's biased tag.
Well, he's got the world on his front of his thing. He's
Yes.
Got the
Seen this,
whole world
I know.
on his shirt.
on his
He's
jersey.
got the whole world.
So these are all the winners. So will you be doing? You said you were going to be doing something like comics or something like that with these.
Yeah, hopefully.
So if I just push this idea up for you.
So, the 5 Centre for Equalities is watching at the moment.
I
I
think.
don't know who's running the Facebook page.
It'll be Elric.
Hi,
Or
Eric.
Pat.
He's put up the link here as well.
Oh,
That's
Alright.
perfect. So basically,
They must be. They are listening then.
if
That's
anybody's
great.
listening, if you go to the comments, the link will be up there and you'll see the cats there for you. So
Yeah.
again, you were thinking about a kind of.
So as they sort of evolve, we'll have like different scenarios that they'll all be in, and then it'll sort of cast
Yeah.
them.
But actually, we're not going to be deciding the campaigns. We're going to get the children and young people to come up with more ideas. So we now have the 3 equality cats, and they're going to be our mascots. And then we're going to be asking the children and young people keep supplying us with the stories, like, you know, maybe like a comic strip. We don't know how creative. I mean, we want to, we really would like to aspire the children and young people to be really, really creative. And, you know, who knows, maybe even somebody could even create a video with the cats as the characters, you know.
That was like a hint to.
Oh no, it seems so.
But you need more
I
video
don't
with it.
know, a hint to, I think we will be rewarding the children and young people, not adults. You know, the children and young people who help us to kind of create
So
stories
how
with the diversity, the equality cats.
So how would you be going about that kind of process? Are you going to like talk about going to schools and like youth clubs and that kind of thing, talking to kids at these certain areas and.
Well, I think Lewis has already been in touch with. I mean, that's how we received those entries in the first place. It was
It's
through
sent
communicating with the schools.
sent the details out to the schools and youth clubs and stuff like that, and then see what they brought us back.
Is it sort of all over Fife you don't take it?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
or as much places you can find as well.
Yeah.
So are you planning now on going into schools and speaking to them at assemblies and stuff like that, or are you just trying to bring them into the
Well,
centre?
I think it's individual. So I think the children and young people, they can create that at their own time if they want to, and it'll be a continuous thing. It won't be. I think for this we want to kind of announce the cats ahead of the Diversity Week 2017, and at the Diversity Gala, hopefully those young people who drew those 3 cats will be joining us at the Diversity Gala, and then we're going to give them the wee gift, but then from there onwards, we're hoping that it won't be like a competition, but it'll be just the children. We'll be inviting children and young people kind of send us things at their own time, and then if we do use the idea, then we'll give them a little reward.
Excellent.
We won't say how much, but it'll be a little reward. so we it was actually just bringing people along with us, and I think that's the whole essence of Fife Centre for Equalities. It's not about we're here to do things for people. It's about working with people like yourself. We work with you. You help us to engage with your viewers, your listeners, and that has helped us a lot. Especially, like you said, I'm very elitist, so I need people like you to help me to
bring you back to
yes.
the earth.
Get me grounded, so you're helping us to reach the audience, and then we also helping you to reach an audience that you haven't reached.
You helped us reach roughly about 4,500 more people.
The Fife Pride video went amazing. I knew it was going to go quite good. I didn't know how well it was going to go.
Pictures about 1,000 million views, roughly.
1,000 million. Right, you're being overzealous there, I think, unfortunately. 100,000 would be fantastic.
People of Fife failed us.
Sorry, your fault. But it's Pat, Elric and Mary that are listening or watching.
I don't think we've met Mary.
Have you not?
Didn't think so, not.
Right. Hello Mary, we've not met you, but we will at some point.
Aye. That is mad. So the idea of kind of Equality Cup, where did the idea come from to set it up?
So Lewis is the creative genius behind.
I was on holiday.
You were?
Right.
So it didn't come from me.
The idea came from. It was before I even started. It was. I think Leah was trying to type in Equality Act and then spelled it cat by accident.
This is where the best ideas come from. Spell mistakes. This is how things happen.
Yes.
Great. It's a simple idea, then it's
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Great. But I thought it was a lengthy story that was maybe you
she just
start like a big meeting and you start around and go, right, kids like cats, we could work with that from then on. But no, there was a spell mistake.
Leah made a typo. That was it.
Yep.
Smashing.
But I think the competition idea, you were there when that happened. Yeah.
And is this how Leah's left because of that spell mistake? I'll take it.
No.
No, that's cool.
No.
It's good to get kids, but are we talking primary school age kids or are we talking?
It was
5 to 16.
5 to 16. So see, they're the kind of ages where if they're going to learn prejudice, they're yet to. So it's good to. I almost said get them early, but that's a terrible way to phrase it. But speak to them early so that they're not being sort of filled with this hate and division and stuff like that. It's nice to get kids involved with that sort of thing, I think.
Well, yeah, I think my experience, a lot of primary school kids, they're the best. The primary school kids, they understand about the danger of smoking. They understand that it's like the road safety rules, and they understand about the equality, and they just genuinely really really lovely. But something happens when they get to high school. and then it suddenly equality is no longer cool.
I think it's
Crossing the road the right way is no longer cool, and that's where we're trying to draw some of them back with us and say that it's like, actually, equality is cool. Look, we've got Equality Cat, who's going to be turning into some kind of cartoon characters at some point.
It honestly sounds like when your parents say, "Oh, I'm hip." So it's like that kind of things happen.
All right, am I making an Equality Cat sound cool now? Oh no! Oh, I shouldn't say the word cool. I think it's funny.
Most people that say the word cool to try and make things sound cool generally aren't cool.
Okay, right. Okay.
It's a tip. You know what is cool?
What?
Vimto.
Did you go?
No, thank you. Yeah. No,
But,
So it seems
I
like
think you're right. It's like, what can we do to get, particularly high school age young people?
well, it sounds like we need to stop puberty because it seems like it's
that's the problem.
puberty's the devil. It sounds like
No, I don't mean it like that. I think it is within them. They still have it. They do have it. They all the teachings that they had at primary school is still somewhere in there.
Oh, yeah.
That's very optimistic.
But I don't know. It's just
This is why
So
you as a manager, the optimism that flies from you now is great. It's
it's
fantastic.
all lies as well.
because I think people say it's important to get the message to them early.
Yeah.
But I think we do that, and then
then they're ruined by high school.
No, I don't.
I
No,
think the problem-
apologies to any high school teachers out there. That is not what I'm saying.
I think the
but
problem
I
is
think
because they lose a sort of sense in everything else. They just can't be bothered with a lot of stuff.
It's hot. I'm telling you, it's puberty. Puberty makes people rebel against everything they used to believe, just because they didn't want to be. No, I didn't want to be a bairn anymore, so I'm not going to
suppose
believe
that,
anything I'm not used to. And being nice to people was apparently childish.
Oh yeah.
So I think that might be. But I can't remember being like that though.
No.
Maybe I've blocked it in my mind. Was a dick for 4 years and I just blanked it.
oh,
Unfortunately.
So we need to stop puberty happening, and
no,
then
that's not what I said. I'm not.
and then
Well,
equality
that's somewhere.
equality will be fine. Is that the argument that we're making?
No,
I
I
suppose-
think what I'm trying to say is it's like kind of a lifelong journey, because I think people get influenced by so many different things at different times. When you look at, I'm going to be talking about America again, looking at what's happening in the news, and suddenly a lot of adults who actually have all the education about equality, and they've done equality and diversity as part of their job, and they've done all the training, and yet as soon as you have a world leader who almost not criticizing the kind of, not what the press calling them, the white nationalists, then suddenly people think it's okay to say certain things or behave certain way. And then so I think the equality is not about getting in early, and it's not about getting in even in high school. It's a lifelong thing. It's something that we need to check all the time, and it's something that the message has to be out there, and we have to involve people. We can't just dictate what the message will be, and that's why I think the Equality Cats will be very important for us, because that's the tools that we're going to get people to help us. What kind of messages would you like the Equality Cats to say to maybe adults at work, or primary school, nursery, hoping that the fifers now will grow up, and take ownership of all these little cats, the kittens, and nurture them. They are ours. They are Equality Cats of 5. So we need to love them. Even if they don't love 5 Cents for Equalities, they need to love the Equality Cats.
Because everybody loves cats, so it's just the way it is.
I'm allergic to cats.
Oh,
So this is
you're going to flare up the nose.
my eyes are red just for all the talking about cats.
I'm so
If
sorry.
I flash these up, what happens to your eyes?
Well, I need to leave the room. Did you know I've got equality hamsters or equality
Well,
Hamsters are
stick and
well,
sex?
because Equality Act, Equality Cats.
Oh, because it was a spell.
Because somebody did ask me. He was like, "What about the dogs?"
I'm allowed to say
Oh,
that.
that was
And
somebody's-
I just,
I suppose as an equality thing, so you have to be equal to all the animals as well.
no,
Like
but then I
next year
think
it'll
it's the anagram. So
Yeah, yeah.
Equality Act, Equality Cat.
be- That's it. That's it.
So actually, is Equality Act says, but we're actually going to turn it around to say Equality Cats say. So people hopefully will warm up more to equality and diversity.
I like
Do-
it. I'm
yeah?
into that.
I like
Yeah,
it. I'm
I really
okay.
like that.
I'm on board
Okay.
now. I'm on board.
Thank you,
Helpful.
thank you.
Excellent.
So
Okay.
you will get more stuff like
Excellent.
things
I
sent
actually
to
know a
you.
guy that does like animations and stuff like that. I don't know why that was hard to say. It's like what's that thing called? But it's I'm not Dreamweaver, like a shockwave thing.
No, it's made. You make flash images of it.
Flash, a guy like does like Flash animation and stuff like that. Fake Coddy as well. Can maybe get in touch with him for
Oh.
some stuff like that.
Yeah.
Make the cat actually do stuff.
Aye, maybe.
Wow. Yeah. Definitely.
Oh yeah, I've got an idea. Right, get your notepad out.
We don't have a budget, so it needs to be free.
Right, so here's an idea. Right, you could have a flash of the cat writing down the words "be nice" and "stop being dicks."
Be nice, yes, but you need to change the wording.
Which word do I need to change?
I think it gets the message from.
Aye.
It does.
See, he likes it. He likes it, and it's simple. It'll just be a cat writing "be nice."
Be nice.
I like it. I love it. I'm
Be
nice
nice.
manager.
And don't be. So there you go. There you go.
We'll leave that off.
Oh,
We'll leave that bit off.
right.
Just to appease Nina. But if you ever become famous for that,
Yes. Our Equality Cats writing down. Be nice.
right?
We're
Yeah.
really trying, Elric. We're really are trying.
Why? What does he
Uh,
say now?
He wanted us to try our best to make you say one swear word.
Oh, is that what it is?
Pat just put up on the.
It's not going to happen.
Pat just put. What do we have to stop being? Yes, Nina. D-I-C-K-S. I think you've got all the crew kind of joining in there, just trying to
That's-
get it to happen.
yeah.
But so you've got a diversity week. I'll remember that this time coming.
Yeah.
When's it all start? And what's happening again? If we can go through it, and we'll talk about more what's actually happening at the events.
Okay. Lewis.
If you need me to grab the posters, I can do that now for you. into it.
We've got Monday, 4th, which is our annual gathering and what's it?
Sustainable Development Seminar.
Development
You got three
Seminar.
Monday,
I'll
the
let you go
4th of
through it, I'll grab the
September.
posters. Two
Yep.
seconds.
You got three speakers. Do you remember who the speakers are?
We have
I
the
bet Nina.
we have the co-leader David Ross. We have the deputy provost. We have more speakers confirmed today.
Oh, did you for the first day?
Yes, and we
You're
we
going
have
to change the
somebody from
poster.
the SCBO. We also have a speaker confirmed from the Institute of Future Cities.
Right.
And I think Jenny Gilruth
Right.
is planning to join us.
She's
on
meant
the
to be
day.
coming on the podcast,
Ah, right, okay.
but she thinks we're too sweary.
So, do you know what? You two have been really good. You've only used one word so far.
And we only used that
And
because
what
we've
word
been
was that Nina,
told.
again? What word was that? Can't remember.
We've only been saying these swear words because Elric asked us to.
Is that what it
That's
is?
the only reason we've been using the swear words, because we know you don't swear because you're a mature adult.
And you two haven't sworn.
We don't.
We're
We're professional adults as well.
I know. I just have that kind of influence, don't I? You know,
Yeah,
we don't need swear words, really.
we don't.
We don't.
That swear word is a sign of a small. Fucked up. Ruined it all.
What's that?
Swearing is the result of a small
That's what-
vocabulary.
Is that right?
Right.
I'll put them in order now. The fourth I'm trying to find.
This is professional.
It
Okay.
certainly is.
So
If you enjoy people moving paper, that's
do you want me to run through then the
Nina
program?
knows better
I'll
than the
give you
posters.
these.
All right.
And you
Okay.
can-
So we've got the
this
posters.
is a list of the stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's the posters.
Right, so Monday
Not
we
the grey
have
flower.
the annual gathering and the Sustainable Equality Seminar. Actually, at the annual gathering, Ulrich, your pal, he's going to be
Boring
talking
pal.
about he's going to be talking about the local recognition reward scheme. Oh, recognition scheme. And Pat actually is going to be talking about the EPN Equality Participation Network. So
Was that
maybe
on the first day?
that's part of the first day.
Right.
Yeah. So we are going to.
So we've got a lot of speaking.
Yeah, we're
that
all
day.
going to have a speaking role on that day. But I think the EPN definitely is something that I'm sure Pat will love.
What's
to-
EPN?
Equalities Participation Network. So that's the
All right.
individuals coming together and trying to create this brilliant solutions for Fife. To help Fife to be more inclusive and equal. And then on Tuesday, this is Tuesday Safer Communities for All.
That's a stall, I think. Is
Yeah,
what,
Pat's organising that. That is stalls at Morrison. So it's really quite good. We're taking the message out to people where they actually are. So I mean, everybody goes to Morrison. No, the people all will go to supermarkets, and so we are really delighted that Morrison is on board with us and allowing us to have some stalls at the shop in Cowdenbeath. I need to mention Cowdenbeath. So the Monday event is at the Windmill Community Campus. That's in Kirkcaldy. Do you know where that is? The wind.
it doesn't matter. Elric or Lewis is picking us up.
Because the Windmill Community Campus is quite significant because that is one of the newest integrated service of Fife Council. So within that campus, it has the high school, it has the special needs school, it has the council services, and also the library.
Is that one down at where that roundabout at the Ace Rink is?
Yeah, round about there. So Windmill is interesting in itself, and then having Morrison on board on a Tuesday in Cowdenbeath, that's really good. So hopefully we'll be saying hello to the people who
We were
shops
going to be filming
in-
that, but we
in-
thought it'd be a bit odd to just
in Cowdenbeath.
have a
Alright.
camera around about a stall. It's,
Yeah.
speak to
Yes.
us.
Okay. So Wednesday, which is not boring. Wednesday is the open data workshop. Ulrich is organising that. That's going to be at the Community Learning Centre.
See, to me that sounds extremely interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one we're
You've done that
filming?
again with your face. You need to watch these back.
Do I sound like I'm lying?
No,
Or do-
I
do I
think
look
you're
like I'm
actually
lying?
no.
I mean, I
You're
know
genuine.
you're being genuine. You're being totally genuine, but it's your
But that's
face.
how dull I am.
Tell your face.
That's how boring I am. Is that I hate even mentioning the fact that I like stuff. That was meant. That one was
Oh yeah,
meant.
that was me.
Yeah.
This stuff is really, really interesting.
Yes, it
Right?
is. But it is, Lewis.
It was like a children's TV.
I'm knackered. Or the acting.
That's
Oh,
mad, aye.
So I'm into boring stuff.
yeah. The open data is who holds what and what
Yeah.
do we know about the people around. I mean, not in details, but at least the open data is to help, service planners to develop services for people based on the needs. So it's not just Eric kind of in the office suddenly say, we're going to do this for Fife based on nothing. So
No,
open
no.
data is about encouraging people to share data so that we have better services and better policies. Yeah. So that's at the Wednesday Community Learning Centre, Wednesday the 6th of September.
Are we
And-
filming that one?
I think so. I think there's going to be people arguing
No.
against this as
I
well.
think it's the Thursday you're going to be filming.
I think it's
yeah.
the ones that go right at the end here.
It's Monday,
First one's
Thursday,
the-
and Sunday.
Yeah.
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 Monday, Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah. So Thursday is the recruitment fair,
This is when
and
you
if you're an employer, do get in touch. So
works.
hopefully you can host a stall this event and telling people what wonderful employment opportunities you have.
This one I'm looking forward to.
Yep, that's at the
Just-
Methil Community Centre, Thursday, 7th of September.
Mm-hmm. Just to hear what sort of employers think about sort of people with disabilities and stuff trying to come in.
Right.
Like if they have to get their businesses sort of set up so that it's like wheelchair accessible, and they don't maybe have the funding at the time to get that set
Right.
up, and sort of what are their excuses for not being able to do that and stuff like that.
Uh,
Just hearing all these kind of different reasons. And
I would
Talking
be
pieces.
interested in knowing if there's a way that making special arrangements so that you can make sure that you can employ a disabled person would arguably raise productivity, because the disabled person is going to appreciate it,
Mm.
the fact
appreciate
they're
the
putting
job
some work.
more, and the fact that they've went to extra effort to be allowed to employ them.
Oh, yeah.
I think it might arguably increase productivity instead of decrease it, which is an argument against a lot of people have against employing disabled people.
Mhm. There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
So I'll be interested to see that. So I'm quite looking forward to that.
yeah. You might be interested in reading my book. I can send you the link later.
You've got a book?
If you type in exceptional journeys,
Mhm.
that's a book of like 10 case studies of employers.
10,000 studies.
No, 10 case studies.
Or
Case.
case. Right.
Language barriers. How many
Like,
problems?
oh,
Yeah,
you
sorry.
put a lot of work
Sorry
into
about
that
my
book.
English. 10 case studies
Right.
of employers putting in the reasonable adjustment for the disabled employees and what the impact have been for the employees themselves.
Am I anywhere near right with my
Yes.
stuff? Oh, quality.
Yeah.
Well,
And I think I really enjoyed doing that book, because I think writing it wasn't so enjoyable, but actually doing interviewing. No,
Most honest
interview.
author I've ever heard.
Yeah, no,
I didn't
interview-
Who wrote it?
Oh,
Shit.
No, interviewing the people. Interviewing the people. That was most fantastic to just to feel the opportunities being given to them, and the way that, like you say, the employers have, and the jobs that they're in, they're not kind of what people would think like low paid jobs.
Yeah.
You know, there's quite a variety of jobs that people
Right.
can hold, and people have like various skills. It's not about the disability, it's about looking at the different skills.
What was
people
surprising
have.
to me was how much McDonald's, who is a company that I'm not a huge fan of, but how hard they work to employ disabled people. They have they work quite hard on trying to employ people with things like Down syndrome and stuff like that, which I was surprised by. I didn't think McDonald's would care much about people, but
Well, this is
There seem to
this
be-
no because of like a
there must be a
huge corporation
scheme
that They
thing.
have to at least look like they're doing something.
Maybe it might be that.
I think that's.
But I have
probably
noticed that in most McDonald's there's
Yeah.
someone that's disabled in some way.
Mhm.
A lot of the big employers do have a corporate social responsibility policy.
Aye, there's, like you better look like you're doing something.
Oh, so
These
it's
things.
I think
You have to.
there are some kind of genuine that they want to.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they should be shown like
leading by examples.
Leading by
yeah.
example, exactly. That's
Yeah. And Holiday Inn. I know that they employ quite a lot of people with like learning difficulties in terms of, the kind of the housekeeping or reception duties,
Right.
kitchen duties. So, there are a lot of good practice around, but we want to hear what's happening in Fife, because I think globally it's easy to identify good examples, but then it'd be interesting to see what good examples we have in Fife, and we want to as many employers as possible to come along to this fair. So don't feel that everything's all booked up. We've still got space. So if you're an employer, please do pick up the phone. And it doesn't have to be a big employer. It could be a small one. And last year actually, I didn't even think about being an employee of a modern apprentice. Until I sat in and listened to people talking about it, and I just thought, well, it's no point of me kind of encouraging people to create employment opportunities. Five Centre for Equalities is also an employer. We have our duties as well in terms of like making sure that we don't discriminate people, but also creating genuine employment opportunities for people. So I think that's why we last year, after one of the events that we helped organised, we became an employer that's searching for the perfect modern apprentice, and he's Lewis. So who knows? Lots of things. Yeah, lots of things can happen. A year in the making. And then, I mean, I think that as there will be a promotion. Should he pass all his exams?
So you're eventually going to be taking Nina's job.
Who knows?
Optimism.
Yeah.
We'll get you back on the podcast. You might remember some of the stuff for the next diversity week.
Yeah. He knows his stuff, but I just want to get in there and then get over and done with. No, I think Friday, that's Eric. It is grey.
Another grey.
That's grey.
Oh, and that's his as well. That's also grey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, diversity gala should be interesting.
I love how there's a wee bit of colour in this as well, just to show that there is fun happening. But there's also grey there.
There's a wee drop fun happening.
Oh. Did Eric influence the choice of colours? I didn't even notice that until you pointed out. Like three things that he's organising.
It was Eric. It was when he was going through it. It was like they're all grey. All my board was grey.
Diversity gala is not boring, but it is also grey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but that's part fun, part grey as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just to show that Eric's put his work in. Eric's done this.
So Eric is the boring person at Five College.
Far from it.
I keep calling it Five Centre for
Eric Honor Grey. Sorry.
It's good to know that my whole team is not doing anything. 2 of us is here, and then 3 of them are back in the office watching us.
Trying to make you swear.
It's not going to happen.
It's amazing that they can try their best to make you swear from like 20 minutes away. That is great. I love technology.
They're enjoying it. It's seemingly we've got wee smiley faces that we're open up. That's problem. Right, so
where you from?
Well, I didn't tell us who it's from. It's
okay, Friday, Planning in Action. That's up in Cooper. County Buildings, St Catherine Street in Cooper. So that's actually helping people to understand the needs of their own community and develop some kind of policy that actually with everybody in mind, because I think it's almost impossible just to carry on the journey of like we'll create one for older people, we'll create one for disabled people, we'll create one for minority ethnic people, because or we'll create one because looking at somebody like me who's minority ethnic is also a woman, then is it so am I assuming that women's events don't apply to me? Or do I have to go to one that actually specifically say minority ethnic women, or do we go down even further and say that Chinese women? So I think we're just trying to get people to not to say that those initiatives in itself has any difficulties with that, but then but what does that say if we want to have a genuine integrated Scotland or integrated Fife? I personally want people to feel that Fife is well integrated and we all Fifers. Doesn't matter, whether it doesn't matter whether we're born in Fife, but if you're choosing to live in Fife, you are a Fifer.
That's it.
That's how I see things.
Yeah.
So it's not determined by or if you. But then I know that Fifers themselves might think, people in Kirkcaldy are like this and people in Glenrothes are like this. We always seem to be stereotyping people, no matter what. And then I think then we need to then continue to kind of think about, not to jump straight into the assumption, not jump straight into the stereotypes, but what do we want out of, if we were going to provide a particular service, what's the outcome? What's the key outcomes for everybody? Not just kind of having a service for one group and then that group say that doesn't serve me well. Then it's not about creating another one. It's actually maybe think about going back to the original service and to see whether there's anything can be changed in order to make it a lot more inclusive.
Mm.
Yeah.
You're laughing. I can see that face.
I'm
I'm
this.
talking about serious stuff here.
No, I appreciate the seriousness, but this is still in my head as
All
well.
right. What are they
There's
saying
nothing
now?
new. It's just Pat saying just once about you to swear just once, but it's been stuck in my head since the beginning of that. I know I'm being listened to by 3 people who are desperate to hear you swearing, and when you're speaking to me in a serious way, that's still in my head.
I love
And
that they're happy that they're advertising their place of work, and they're just like,
Yeah.
where is she going to swear? That's the main thing they're looking for.
But I do understand what you're talking about.
Yeah,
though. That's,
definitely.
it's an important thing. What day was that? That was Friday.
Yeah, Friday. So Saturday.
Saturday's this.
Lewis, definitely. Over
Saturday's
to
this
you.
one, eh?
Okay.
This year.
Alright, so Saturday is sort of family health and well-being, with a sort of, what's the word? With a hint of accessibility.
Mhm.
So it will be accessible activities like sort of bowls. I think we're getting wheelchair bikes as well.
Mhm.
What's a wheelchair bike?
It's like, I don't know.
Is it a bike with a big seat? Like a really large
I
seat.
think
so you can
it's
sit in it?
for
Is it like
wheelchair and
pedal?
somebody else pedaling. Not
Right,
the
right,
wheelchair user pedaling, but
Right,
It's
somebody
kind of-
else.
Is there not one where you can pedal with your hands or nothing?
yeah, that could be.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Ah.
So I think there's a varieties.
Yeah.
There are
There's
varieties.
a lot of
Yeah.
activities, and then we've
Mhm.
also got we do have the community cafe there, don't we, at the High Valley Field?
Pat, can you clarify what do we have for the Saturday event?
The community cafe. What's that? Is that a blow up cafe? What?
Community cafe.
Aye,
Have you ever been to one?
no.
Well, maybe you should
It's
because
a
I
relatively
mean,
simple idea.
yeah,
But as
they're
soon
quite
as-
a lot
No,
in
but-
Fife,
but-
and we want to help them to be more inclusive because I think we see that community cafe plays such a vital role in terms of serving the community that actually live there. And
But it was the way it was said. It was like the community cafe is going to be there.
Or like it was a
Oh,
business.
I thought it was-
I
Is that what you're
see.
thinking?
Aye, I thought it
Right,
was.
right.
But you're meaning people that work in,
Aye.
I think it's
It's
the
similar like
community centre
shed
and
that
then
do
so that they'd be going and just.
that. Like sort of like a community cafe would just like folk working together
Aye,
and that sort of group for themselves sort of thing, and then serving community for events like these. sort
so,
of
so
thing.
they'll be
So
coming.
it's a bit like the community shed, but we're making bird boxes and
Aye, so they'll just be making tea, like
what does she say?
only if you swear.
we're getting denied PR unless you swear. I love it.
5 Centre for Equalities. It's not gonna happen.
I just love it. That's great.
I quite like Pat. I must say, I like Pat.
Pat is our engagement officer.
She's a legend.
It's amazing. That's amazing. Right, so it looks like you're not getting through that one. So there's
Community Cafe, Fife's newest one, the Canary Cafe, will provide food and there will be a variety of tasters, i.e. indoor curling, and we are trying to secure archery.
Oh, are we going that day?
Have you tried archery?
Yes.
Yes, I was terrible at archery.
What are you?
Well, if you want to come, let us know and we'll organise transport for you.
Well, we'll go to that one.
Oh, for that
Yeah.
one. Aye, aye.
Okay.
Definitely. Excellent.
Yep.
And we're
So-
going to Sunday anyway, so.
Sunday's
Sunday.
happening, so if you could explain.
Yeah. Sunday
This is the-
definitely. Lewis knows more than I do.
Sorry, here you go.
Right, so it's on Dunfermline High Street, and it's sort of part of the Outwith Festival. in Dunfermline.
Mhm.
Is, yeah.
There used to be Bruce Festival.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Brewers, right,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is the one Elric was talking to us on the way down.
right.
The meeting that we had.
I couldn't hear anything. I was in
Because
the. You had your window open, and I couldn't
you were
hear.
in the back seat.
I was in the back seat.
So you had wind blowing in one
So
ear
I-
and then just too far away.
I had no idea what's happening on the
All
Sunday.
right. Okay.
So aye.
We've got loads of sort of acts and performances going on,
Mhm.
with the headliner of course being the Equality Club. No, we've got things like Phoenix Martial Arts. They're doing a lion dance. They did it
Mhm.
last year as well.
Mhm.
That looked quite good. I wasn't there, but
Line dance,
a lion.
lion dance. What is that?
You know the martial art with the lion head.
You know, seen that with, like sometimes they do it with like dragons and stuff like that. But
Oh, that.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Aye.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we've got Resonate doing a drumming set. They did one last year as well. I wasn't there, but it looked good.
Oh,
And
good.
then
Yeah. Oh, they were the Five Pride. They resonate.
Was that the same guys?
Same women.
Women.
Aye, well, that's
Yeah.
guys, the same thing.
Same women. Oh, sorry.
It's the same word.
Okay. Sorry,
No, it's not
I
the
didn't
same
know
word.
that as a new.
Oh,
That's
oh,
neutral.
everybody guys.
All
Well,
right,
you're
okay.
sexist.
Why?
Because I said so.
That's absolute equality. I call everybody guys.
Okay.
Hello guys. What's happening? What's
Okay.
happening? Done.
Choose your words better.
Gender-
Elric is mad that you've not got to scooters yet, even though it's
That's why it's coming up.
It's coming, Elric. Calm yourself.
patience. Yeah, and then I'm getting a bit too big for my boots. You know. But-
It's okay. You're doing okay.
And then yeah, so Fife Interfaith Group have got a flash mob choir sort of thing, but it doesn't really have the same effect if it's sort of.
If everybody knows they're about to have a flash mob,
I like the idea of flash
Seems
mob is
like-
that
Oh, we
nobody knows
shouldn't
there's a
be.
flash mob.
All right, we shouldn't be advertising it. Okay.
just take them off, and then just
yeah.
have space, so that everybody's like, "Oh, we just got a break."
Oh, this is just like a sausage roll.
Yeah,
break.
and
Aye.
then some,
And then they'd be like, "Oh, cool, more activities." Brilliant.
Oh, okay. But well, we should have consulted with you. It's like we've done it wrong now.
The flyers are
But it's good for us
Yeah.
because then we can when to
It's
film.
perfect for us. Aye,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we've got Seeds of Thought coming through from Glasgow. They do
Mhm.
loads of stuff. They sort of do art, music, spoken word, poetry, that kind of thing. So that would be good. And then we've got Nick Shane, who you seen at Fife Pride.
We know Nick Shane. So.
Right.
I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't there, so I didn't see it. But from what I've seen, it was good. And then we've got some help here with the Northern Soul DJing. We'll have scooters, hopefully, from loads of clubs. We've got A92s, Wild Turkeys, Lone Sharks, Edinburgh Blues, and I can't remember. No.
So who's riding the scooters?
The
or
ones-
The groups he was talking about.
So
Did you find somebody to do the music, or am I still doing this? The Northern Soul thing.
Aye. Do you mean DJing it? Or?
Aye.
Aye.
Right, no, that's cool. Just so that I know before I go remember my stuff.
I
Alright.
could film your set.
So have you got
Aye,
DJ
aye.
already?
Stephen's
I
DJ.
think they
You
were-
doing the DJ?
Aye,
Oh, you
they
doing
were,
the
They were
DJ?
trying to find somebody,
Okay.
and it was a bit like too far or something like.
Right.
So
Edinburgh or something. Dundee, that's it.
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's fine. I'll do that.
Yeah.
My very limited knowledge of Northern Soul.
You better get researching.
I've been
right
I have
now.
Been, I have been.
Aye, good.
I listened to one mixtape
Ah.
yesterday of Northern Soul stuff.
Is it good?
There you go.
Is it dope?
It was on.
It was on, right.
What does that
press
mean?
play and it was on.
Dope is a hip hop term. It means really, really good.
Oh, okay. Is it?
Is it dope?
It was certainly music. is what it was. Was it dope?
I'm trying to think about what.
I like soul music. As a hip hop fan, soul music is kind of like one of the kind of main parts of hip hop music a lot of the time.
Right.
Is
So,
Dock of the Bay, is that soul?
Actually, yes.
I like soul.
It's,
Then.
Right.
I like one song.
So you do recording, you do podcasts, you do
DJing as well.
DJing,
karaoke as well.
karaoke.
Never needs that. So.
Political candidacy.
You should actually get a band.
If we go on the website for the political candidacy, we do.
If you need a political candidate for your party,
Tories,
get
anything.
in touch with Craig. Get in touch with Craig. Give him some leaflets. You'll be all right. that would be your next candidate. Just make sure he doesn't win.
Did you go? So at the end, what's happening? So am I playing Northern Soul music and the scooters are riding out doing like a wee parade thing, or do you know what's happening? Or just be some guys doing wheelies and stuff?
Just doing like 360s and that. No, I think they'll be doing like a little ride out or something. I'm not sure.
Right.
Is
Did
it
you got a
two
jump?
music or sort of two music as they go out, or you know sure?
I have no idea.
I reckon
To be announced.
this is an idea from me to you. It's free. That you should get some sort of a jump and a flaming ring,
No.
and so all the scooters can jump through the
Every
ring.
single one of them.
Every single one of them.
With all
Even-
kinds of health and safety rules
Eh.
broken.
Get 4 buses and then...
4 buses, set the buses on fire, and then jump out of the buses. No,
I don't know, maybe, I mean,
That's
Eric is the
entertainment.
organizer, so...
Entertainment.
maybe Eric's already got that planned.
Yeah, Eric is... I
He
just
put the flash mob on the paper, but he kept the flaming school buses.
yeah. Actually, I'm just
That needs to
worried
be hidden.
the amount of scooters turning up. That in itself, you know, is
It's
worrying
pretty
me
cool to say,
already.
it's like
But
the- it's
You
like
could
But
have two
Eric-
different. You could have
but
two
Eric
different
said
rings,
that
so
it'll
there's
be
no
fine.
driving beside each other.
yeah, pardon?
You could have two different rings,
Right.
so that you could split the groups.
and split the deaths that might happen. Jesus Christ. Right.
No. Anyway,
Kevin
I mean-
Monday, you related?
what is it saying?
Kevin
I'm
Monday.
sure he might be.
What is Kevin?
When you say flaming ring, can you clap?
Eric says he could not get a pyrotechnics license for this one, sorry. That's unfortunate.
Just keep the buses.
the
and then not
buses.
set them on fire. Like even
Aye.
people.
Because I could
Well-
go without setting stuff on fire if you
Yeah.
need
Do you need a pyrotechnics license if you buy terrible buses that accidentally go on fire?
Oh, you mean it's just like accidental fire?
Aye, you get rubbish buses that are close to death.
You could get normal buses and just say it's an accident fire.
You might also get
You
insurance.
do know
money.
this is being recorded, right?
Actually, Pat will surprise you here. Loads of scooter riding, hot curry, singing Ring of Fire. There you go, and Kevin just kind of added to that joke as well. Just,
Okay.
just
So are you related to Kevin? He's got the same second name.
Aye.
I think for the benefit of this organisation, maybe I should need to disown him.
So not related. That's
Not
fine,
related
that's
to
fine.
I
Kevin.
am related
Right,
to him.
that's-
He's my husband.
Alright.
Right, that's
So
excellent.
that's a good thing that to know that my husband's listening.
And we're now a fan of Kevin.
We're a
Kevin
fan of your
quite,
husband, then.
quite a lot. We're
Okay.
reaching the end. We've reached.
Can you
so-
clarify Ring of Fire?
Actually, you know, before we go, it'll be quite good to hear the more ideas from you. What can we do to kind of get?
We've killed Craig. Sorry.
Can't believe it.
You just try to be deep here. man.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
like-
sorry. Ring of Fire's funny. I can't.
Sorry, Nina.
All right,
what were you
no,
saying?
I was gonna, you know, because you guys are really creative. It'll be good to hear from you what ideas you have to help us to get a message out to people. Because I mean, I don't think a lot of people have heard of Five Centre for Equalities, and they certainly, you know, they might not heard of Diversity Week 5 yet, and we want them to come along to our
Ever thought about
events.
a curry and comedy night or something like that? Anything like that? That'd be good. That'd be good. To get.
No, coming along to the all the events that we already have on the go.
See, I'm one of these Facebook spammers. They just
No.
sort of post in groups a lot of the time, so I'm quite bad for that. But any ideas? Of can
If I knew that, we'd be world famous.
I know.
That's an area where we are terrible.
No.
We could give you the things you need to advertise, but we can't help you on how to advertise. We can give you a video, but how you get people to watch it is your issue.
Yeah. No, but I just think that is there a reason why? Because I mean, equality is not a new word. It's been around for so long. I mean, is there a reason why some people still kind of resisting
So
hear
I
that
was
word.
about to, I was about to make I'm a very moany person on Facebook, right? I'm one of these people that I've got opinions, and everybody should hear my opinion. Very annoying. Not the type of person you want to be friends with. And there was Owen Jones, is that his name? Anyway, he's got a radio show on LBC,
Right.
and he was talking about mental health. And he was saying the same thing as everybody else. He's saying the Lib Dems have been saying it for 10 years, that we need to start taking mental health seriously, which we do, but saying it over and over and over and over and over again and not actually doing anything but saying it is useless.
Yeah.
And I think it's got to the point now where 10 years ago, if you had depression, you couldn't say you had depression because people didn't believe depression existed,
Yeah.
or they would dismiss you. Now, when you say you've got depression, people are dismissing you because, oh cool, somebody else has got depression. Now we have to listen to this person with depression. And I think it's because people just keep talking about it and not doing anything about it that people are starting to sort of push back.
Right.
And then you had the situation on Facebook where you were very, very patient with the person saying, well, when a white pride thing comes, or was it a straight pride, something like that, then I'll start taking an interest in equality. They seem to fail to realise that straight people aren't beat up for being straight. I've never been attacked for being straight, whereas gay people are, and trans people are. And if people, they just didn't seem to realise why these things are happening. So maybe just a simple, back to basics explanation of why these things are necessary, as opposed to pushing the agenda, just going back to basics for people that aren't used to it, who are new to this sort of thing, would maybe be a good place to be, a sort of beginnings workshop type thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's my personal. You didn't have to.
No, I'll take that back, and then I think you're right, because people hear the word, but they don't necessarily understand what it means.
They forget the history behind everything else that's happened.
And also, there's the issue where as soon as we hear something that disagrees with us, instead of talking, we shouting, we call each other names.
That's a huge problem for all.
We
of
do
them.
that. So,
I'm quite bad for it myself.
so I respect to you for being patient enough to be like, well, come along and speak to us. And,
Well,
whereas I was raging.
yeah.
I was reading it. I was like,
Because I think I like to understand how people think, and you know, dialogue's very important, and you're right. Some people are just too afraid to say anything, or they actually think they like to say things to shock people. So they want to say things that will get a reaction from the person. And for us at the Five Centre for Equality, our job is to communicate with everyone. You know, it doesn't really matter whether you believe in what we do, but we still want to talk to you, and I'm sure that person will still have some great ideas in terms of, you know, what parade is he talking about, you know, or he or she, you know. So I think sometimes, you know, people might not realise what they're trying to campaign for is no different from what Five Pride was trying to do.
Yeah.
It's just to bring, you know, the awareness to people. And I think Five Pride, I mean, we were certainly very, very proud to be one of the partners, and I think as that partnership, nobody can do anything on their own. You have to have the right partners around you, and I think Pat certainly has done really, really well nurturing the working relationships she has with so many different organisations. And I think this year it seems like everything just fall into the right place, you know. Because the CLD, the community learning development, their team have done a lot of work with the young people, and then the Five Cultural Trust has been on board as well to help doing the marketing. I mean they know how to do marketing, you know, and I think the Pink Soul Tire also, they bring in the expertise of of the community, and also the relationships that they have with certain businesses, and I think the whole Fife Council has been so engaging, and I think I'm saying nice things about Fife Council not because they give us funding. It's not just about that. I think the fact that they actually created Fife Centre for Equality is because they want to do things differently, and I've been going along to a lot of strategic partnership meetings, and I think they are wanting to look at how equality kind of feeds into everything that they do, and hopefully with the sustainable inclusion, 10 years later, it's going to be just a natural thing we do. We automatically will think, to how our services are doing. Let's say if I run a kind of a health clinic, who use it, how well do we deliver the services to people with like different needs? Are we making sure that the people with communication needs engaging with the services? Because some people have like sensory impairment, or people who's not illiterate in any language. There has to be different ways of like engaging with people and communicating with people. Fife Centre for Equalities, we're still learning. There's still a lot to be learned. We're not experts. We're working with a lot of people, and hopefully we will create some really, really good practices in Fife that we can share with other people elsewhere. But we do want more and more people to engage with us, no matter what their agenda is, and just if you have any creative ideas, do feel free to share with us. Certainly I'm going away thinking about what you said about going back to the basics. Breaking it down. What does actually equality means? Why is it such an important word now? Why we should never take it for granted. But thank you. Enjoy my time here.
I really enjoyed the fact that you're putting on. Elric was talking about putting on more debates of some sort, or even just panels where people come in and speak to different people. Doesn't need to be elections. You could do it with anything. You could do it during terms, so you could sit in MPs and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. It doesn't have to be anybody with any title, because I think, to be honest, everybody has a view. Any individual is entitled to have a view, and so we'll hopefully with your help, maybe we can have some more kind of public debates and. You
want to do a podcast with people as well?
Yeah.
We've been. I love watching debates. I've been wanting to do debates for ages, but it's difficult to do them in this format. So
because you're the host, so you need to be neutral.
I need to be neutral enough. It's very difficult to be neutral.
I can do that. I'm quite neutral.
Are you?
Yeah. I don't swear.
You don't swear. But I like the fact that you're doing that stuff. You're hearing different views and not shutting anybody out.
No, I don't. I think it's important not to do that, because if somebody has a really extreme view and they don't tell me, and in some way then that extreme view got worse and worse, and they do something terrible. Yeah. Because nobody has ever spoken to them, that actually their view might not be entirely factual, and so I'd rather people talk to me.
It's the same rationale we used for you bring up the same thing. We spoke to a group you spoke to a group in Dunfermline. It was a racist group. They were quite openly racist as well. We tried to speak to them, and the rationale was the same thing. If we didn't speak to them, they're going to get worse. They're going to just hide in some sort of sense, and then just kind of go underground. And I just don't understand why people just don't speak to these people and get the ideas out there that they're talking about.
There's people on my political side who want to go out and start punching Nazis, and alright, like you've heard of Antifa. Anti-fascist, right?
Yeah.
So they go out and punch people, and I understand why they exist. They're meant to be a defence organisation for people on the left so that they're not getting attacked, but they're attacking people preemptively.
I don't.
And
agree
I
with
don't.
that.
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
But there's also people who say we shouldn't do anything, we should just ignore them, and I think that's also dangerous. That lets them fester. So my view is to constantly engage with them and constantly tell them why they're wrong. You're maybe not going to change the Nazi's mind, but you might stop another person from becoming a Nazi,
Yeah.
and that's my hope.
Or stopping them doing some harm to another
Or
person.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just trying to limit the damage as much as possible is always what I'm trying to do. So I like the thought of him having debate.
Yeah.
Eric
okay.
says next one coming up is the socio-economic equality duty. Not a catchy name, but hey, it's a great event, he says.
Yeah.
Soon,
Excellent.
that's
Yeah.
the date.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Yep.
The day is soon. That's
Yep.
very nice. So I just want to thank you for coming. That's been
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
no problem at all.
Thank you.
Excellent.
It's
Thank
been
you.
enjoyable. Thank you.
Awkward couple of seconds.